late last week, CEO of Honeywell, David Cote, and you may have seen some reports on this. Apparently, there was a press conference where Mike Elk of Mother Jones, I believe it was asking David Cote a question. And apparently in this press conference that he was apparently invited to, as a member of the press, he writes for Mother Jones magazine, he asked a question, and literally in the middle of the question, somebody, I don't know, it was the Republicans who set up the press conference or what, took the microphone from his hand. And the question he was asking was really more about sort of the taxes that Honeywell has paid, and the thing, it was fairly stunning. But at one point, he was asked, what ultimate effective tax rate should be on corporations? And David Cote said 0. Cote said, the problem is from a fairness perspective. Nobody would be able to withstand it. But at the end of the day, jobs come from companies, and if we want to create the most effective foreign direct investment pipeline you've ever seen, we would have the lowest rate possible. Now, apparently, the lowest rate possible is not 0%. From a via Atrios piece from January 19th of 2012, a list of the U.S. Public Interest Research Group used tax data collected by the Citizens for Tax Justice and data from the Center for Responsible Politics to compile its Dirty 30 list titled Representation Without Taxation. Honeywell used offshore subsidiaries and tax loopholes between the years of 2008 and 2010, reporting $5 billion in domestic profits, received $1.75 billion in federal tax subsidies, making its effective tax rate not 0%, negative 0.7%. Let me repeat that although this guy who sat on the presidentially appointed Bowles-Simpson Cat Food Commission wants corporations to pay 0% because it would create all sorts of jobs for the 2 or 3 years between 2008 and 2010, their tax rate was negative 0.7%. So they must have created an enormous amount of jobs. However, as David Dayen reports, Honeywell has been laying off entire plants of union workers, driving down wages and benefits for their employees, while the CEO took home $37 million. So despite the fact that they're paying taxes less than 0%, they're getting subsidized to the tune of 0.7% beyond what their tax obligations were. They are still cutting jobs. And I guess that's why the CEO gets $37 million, because if you've got the brass cojones, am I mixing metaphors? If you've got the brass eggs to get up and say that we need to bring these tax rates down to 0 to create jobs, and you pay less than 0% in taxes, and you shed jobs, and you're willing to say this in front of other human beings, maybe you deserve at least a couple mil just for being such a great liar. Oh, and then there's, of course, that international scumbag prize, which I think is like $20 million. So that could explain part of that compensation. Unbelievable. And just in case you're wondering, corporate profits have skyrocketed over the last 3 years. Corporate profits have skyrocketed. How is it possible that corporate profits can skyrocket? past their pre-recession levels if the tax burden on them is so great? It's ridiculous. It's simply a ridiculous argument. Unbelievable.